Well, firefighters known hazards. They face them at every scene. Just take a look at what they dealt with only yesterday in Southeast DC, a raging fence fire involving propane tanks. But these first responders also face an invisible and potentially deadly threat. Firefighting gear is made with cancer-causing chemicals, and mounting science is proving that danger. Now, alternatives are being tested right here in the DMV, but as 7 News senior investigative reporter Lisa Fletcher discovered, it's an uphill battle.
When you look at firefighters, they sign up to go into burning buildings, but what they don't sign up to do is, of course, have the gear that they're wearing be the thing that's causing them to die.
Cancer, not fire, is the #1 killer of firefighters. And the disturbing irony is the protective gear they're wearing may be loaded with cancer-causing chemicals. PFAS chemicals, meant to repel water and oil and keep them dry, are also tied to a laundry list of health problems.
As a firefighter, it's scary to think that for years I wore something that potentially could years later cause me to have cancer.
A scary reality for Fire Chief Tiffany Green, but one that has persisted for years, despite a growing number of studies showing PFAS in gear and proving that wear and tear can increase exposure to the toxic chemicals. There's been little action to remove them until now. Green's department, Prince George's County, Maryland, is one of only 5 departments in the U.S. and Canada selected to test prototype gear made without PFAS.
But it's the actual gear that's making us sick. So anytime we can be a part of a change, it's going to ensure not only that they're going home to their families every night, but that they're in the best chance to save the citizens that we're serving is a benefit for everyone.
Assistant Chief Donnie Fletcher is rolling out the gear in real life and training scenarios to evaluate its performance.
Where we're seeing the gear has high levels of PFAS, though, is primarily in the outer shell and the moisture barrier. So the same thing that we're using to help shell this is what's poisoning us.
But going in, what are you going to be trying to notice with this gear?
We're looking for fit, flexibility, but also the thermal protection.
Foxtrot 3.
You guys ready?
And how are the guys reviewing it so far?
So far, they think it's great. It performs very similarly to the gear that we've been wearing for the last 10 years.
There's a lot at stake. The International Association of Firefighters estimates that in 2023, 72% of line-of-duty deaths were from cancer. Massachusetts and Connecticut have passed laws that ban PFAS in firefighting gear within the next 3 years. But despite state efforts, there's been no federal action to protect firefighters nationwide.
Do firefighters and their families deserve better?
Yeah, I think firefighters and their families, make a lot of sacrifices. It's not really asking too much to help them stay safe.
Congressman Glenn Ivey of Maryland, a cancer survivor himself, stood alongside members of Prince George's County Fire Department last summer, announcing his bill to fund research into safer gear alternatives and training to reduce exposure. But the bill hasn't advanced.
What do you think the likelihood is of it passing?
Well, this has not been a super productive Congress. It's not looking great. However, I hope that there's a chance to get something done.
With Congress stalled, there's another alleged obstacle. Ironically, from the National Fire Protection Association, which sets the standards for firefighter gear. The NFPA is being sued by the largest firefighters union, accused of imposing criteria that effectively require the use of PFAS in turnout gear and stifling the development of PFAS-free alternative gear.
Are you optimistic about NFPA's position on this?
I am not.
If NFPA doesn't act in the best interest of firefighters, do you think that the collective voice of firefighters will be enough to get the gear that you need in place?
I do. I think they have the voice that matters here.
We asked the NFPA if it plans to amend its standards to promote the production of PFAS-free gear. It told us its standards do not specify or require the use of any particular materials, chemicals, or treatments for turnout gear. That said, the NFPA also told us they are developing a new standard that should be out soon. As for the National Fire Protection Association, pressure is mounting on the organization to fully embrace PFAS-free gear for all firefighters. And as for the new standard that they're supposed to be coming out with, we'll keep you posted on that. To see all of my investigations into PFAS and firefighting gear, go to WJLA.com. Lisa Fletcher, 7 News.